We're back, baby. Let's take a look at the charts. Let's take a look at the charts. Some creepy signs for June. Gotta go over it. Go ahead and pour in. And I will be back in 5 minutes. How's everybody doing? Good to see you guys in. Not muted, we're here, bro. Altcoin DJ, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I like to just take a little break. I get the stream up and running, get my coffee going, do some posts on Twitter and Discord, and come on in. But it's good to see you guys in, man. Willem, Gazgano, James Roy, good to see you. Casablankovic, good to see you, man. Let me know how the community's been going, Casablankovic. You told me you got an MC army of your own. SA Razor, good to see you. Matek, good to see you in. If you guys have any questions for me today, I'm here to answer them in regards to MC, VWAPs, all that stuff. It's 108 days of stay hard for me, man. I did my burpees today. It was a good day. Got a rush, came home, went to sleep. Now we're going to be up, and it's going to be a nice late night of research in the markets, and hopefully looking for a little trade. We'll see, man. We'll see. But it's good to see you guys in. The stream's called June Concerns because there's definitely some concerns that I have for price in regards to like the chart, and then also some things that I wanted to talk about. But just in terms of the Bitcoin chart, we have not contended with the May anchor right here, the neon green anchor place at the start of May, and it's actually likely that we do find a little bit of a bounce on this pink weekly anchor. This is a weekly anchor from 3 weeks ago. It seems to have been defining the trading range that we've been in like the medium term, so we might get a little bit of a pop, but at the start of June I'm going to anticipate this dumping to the May anchor, and so that's my main concern. It's nothing like too crazy as of yet, right? But I am expecting the price to come down to that May anchor because that tends to happen at the start of every month. If we go back in time and we look at what happens when you trade months, the red anchor here is our April anchor. This is an anchor place at the 1st of April, and it's a downtrend. April was a shit month, right? And we get May, and what's the first thing we do is we pump straight to that April anchor. So there's a little bit of that leapfrog thing going on. Now, another example of it happening on a monthly scale would be if you place one on the 1st of March. So here's a neon green line here that I placed on March 1, right? And you could see that as soon as we got April, which is right here, we got a pretty big correction all the way down, and we pierced the March anchor, and we even dumped down even lower. So there was a little bit of a leapfrog there. So this tends to happen is you get a new month, and before anything can happen, before a narrative is established for that month, we tend to tread back to the previous month, especially if we've run a little too hard from it and we've lost our marbles a little bit. And I'd say that May was a little bit too gung-ho of a month. Like April was really bad. We lost a lot of market momentum. Bitcoin's weekly lost the 60 line. In many instances, or in many ways of looking at this was a point to dump all your Bitcoin, us losing this kind of market momentum like this, and yet we rally up in a pseudo divergent type of fashion. You look at the daily, and what I see objectively is a bearish setup, right? These waves trending down, money flow draining out, not just in this smaller wave, but also this larger wave. You see even from back here, you extend this downtrend of money flow out, and this goes into all through the summer. This basically is saying that we're gonna have a kind of boring or a down or a divergent ugly summer. That's what this money flow is telling me here. And you see like a massive blue momentum wave, and then you see a slightly weaker blob of momentum, and now we're getting this little spike wave. So this is like almost like shorters getting wrecked before more concerning price action. And I'm sure you guys have seen this in your market cipher charts before, is you'll have like a really nice textbook bear setup, and then you just get one more wave, what Trader Geo calls it a spike wave, right? And I really like that term. It's a spike wave. It's like a little last gasp of air, like to like stop out any any bears who are a little too gung-ho, and then we do go down lower. And so yeah, I see the RSIs, you know, not really as strong as I would like them to be for us to be seeing like immense market strength. We just aren't really there. Money flows a little bit red, and I'm not seeing too much daily uptrend on that. The only thing we really have going for us is, you know, May so far has been good. The trend in the medium term is up, so we have some medium term upward structure. And obviously we're over a lot of like really important anchors still. So, you know, things, I guess, I suppose they could change. Like this downward trumpet could, you know, break up in the short to medium term. I suppose that's definitely in the cards, but I'd say that the May anchor correction is like probably more common, probably more likely than like an all-time high, if that makes sense. But you know, what is still bullish about this chart is like we're over the all-time high anchor, an anchor placed at the all-time high. We're over that quarter two anchor, so the quarter is now like a good quarter. Quarter two is a positive quarter thanks to May's price action. But I just don't think it's going to last for much longer. There's a couple things in the crypto environment that I don't like. First of all, Mt. Gox, right? You guys are talking about, we're talking about sell pressure, supply woes, you know, Grayscale and Mt. Gox potentially dumping Bitcoin. Most Bitcoin holders being in profit and not taking profit. You know, it's kind of tempting for like these people, these entities that have way too much Bitcoin coming out of their ears, like way too much Bitcoin than you would ever need in like your entire lifetime, right? That's how much Bitcoin these people have. And so it's like, dang, they really are looking for moments to sell some Bitcoin to the rest of us. And so it's like they have a lot of supply, and there's not that much Bitcoin being traded on exchanges. So to think that it can't go down is a little bit naive. But thanks for letting me do my spiel. I'm going to keep going, but let me know what you guys think in the chats. Also, another thing I've been a little concerned about is the fact that celebrity influencers are coming out shilling meme coins again. Last cycle, when we had influencers like the Pauls and KSI and all these like clowns like getting into crypto, that pretty much marked the top. And so we don't really like to see clown celebrities like getting into crypto and giving it a weird name. Another thing that's happening is the consensus event. At a large crypto event like Consensus, this is typically a sell. This is typically like you would sell like when big events like this are going on, because this is getting normies in, this is spreading Bitcoin awareness, and there's a lot of unwarranted hope around the space just because events are going on, and I just don't like it, man. And then also, like, there's a lot of people that want to chill this summer, and you have that whole sell in May, walk away mantra. So these are all like just that plus the anchor situation. We have what seems to be a short setup in the cards for the start of June. Early June, like probably like first quarter of June, right? First week of June. Probably see a correction down to that May anchor, and then we'll have to go from there. We'll have to see if the May anchor bounces or if we just chop right through and this gets uglier. Anthony Alston says, FG gonna end up taking any leverage position like you said last stream? I'll be looking for some tonight, man. I'm not in any right now, but yeah, man, I'll be on the hunt tonight for leverage positions on Bitcoin, potentially Ethereum, and Pepe. So I wanted to go over the charts with you guys, see if there's anything that I might be thinking about before I like look at the charts tonight. But no live trading right now. But if I see anything juicy tonight that's like really good entry stuff, I'll share with my VIP. Which, by the way, if you guys are curious about my VIP, I just had a really nice call with a gentleman today. But you can shoot me an email at nickcipherfg@gmail.com, and we can schedule like a 2-hour call, and I'll talk about your trading with you. We'll talk about your background, and I'll get you like a VWAP course that I made. It's like a private course, and I'll get you into my Discord for life. And so you get the call, the course, and the Discord for $500 if you want to do that. That's basically the only like additional way that I'm making cash right now. Cash flow, other than like, you know, selling market ciphers. I get a little bit of a portion of that. So, by the way, if you guys are curious about market cipher, you could use code SOLDIER. Code Soldier is still 30% off through Friday. Go to marketcipher.com with the affiliate link in my description, and you get all 4 indicators 30% off, dude. It's a really good deal. Limited time offer on that. You get a totally different Discord from my VIP, and all that stuff. You get the tutorials, you get all that stuff, man. Also, secret weapons coming out soon too. I don't know when my brother's releasing that, but if you get Market Cipher now, 30% off, that does include future indicators that we put out and stuff, so you'll grow alongside us, man. Let's see. Yeah, Mattech said just a red dot on the monthly chart. Yes, sir. We do. As anybody who hasn't seen this, you might be living under a rock, but obviously the monthly chart looks like ass, and so anytime things look shoddy on the medium time frames, where it's always like, you know, the monthly looked like shit, you know, I guess we should have seen this coming, right? You know, that being said, it's a little bit mixed on these big time frames. 2 week, you see the yellow oscillator coming up, something's trying to happen, trying to get saved. Weekly was saved, but now it's looking weak, you know, a little bit, almost a little divergent and kind of losing its luster a bit. Money flow coming out. 5-day almost looks like it's a trigger wave about to happen. So, man, it's a little mixed, bro. It's a little mixed. And what I really don't like is the daily and 2-day spike waves. You know, what we have is basically these big blobs of momentum, and now we just kind of have what could be a last gasp of air before like the real correction or some sort of sideways or divergent or boring summer. Yeah, stone cold survival up in here, man. It's just your boy FG. I'm all you got, bro. Everyone else is tuning out and everyone else is giving up, but FG's not giving up, bro. I'm gonna do my push-ups every day, streaming every day. Man, we're gonna go through hell together, or I'm not leaving my boys in the trenches. Casablankovic says bull div on ETH on the 4-hour. We're going to be taking a look at ETH. Let's take a look at ETH right now, actually. So ETH obviously pumps up, looks super strong on its anchors. Let's see. Is it overcoming some of these shorter term? Man, I had to slap an anchor just on like the start of this sideways, you know, this sideways range we've been trading in. So it's like a technically based. I just wanted to see how the sideways range is doing, right? And this is a line we really want to stay over. So, you know, if ETH can hold over this intraday, we are now over a fresh, brand new, newly created intraday VWAP. We are over it for now. Looks like a short setup just played out here. They've got a nice anchor trigger here on the 65 that played out beautifully. But could be cooling off, could be regaining over the intraday VWAP, could be regaining over this anchored VWAP place at the start of this little sideways range, and that could be a little pop to the upside, potentially to let's see here, let me place some weekly anchors on ETH. Let me just place one on this week, and let's do one on this big candle too, just to see like where that support is. That support's way down there, bro. Okay, I see. All right, so this is pretty much our trading range here right now. We've got the weekly VWAPs give us a good, like, this is the way I do. You know how most people will put it into a box with like horizontal levels. I don't really do that horizontal support. I do dynamic supports and resistance. This is our trading range right now. So ETH's trading currently between about 3,700 and 3,850, and we're right smack dab in the middle. So it's probably not the best time to consider a trade on ETH, not gonna lie, but we are getting some intraday, little trend on the intraday. Actually do see a bit of a look at this anchor trigger setup here with intraday price action on the 10 minutes. So actually, man, this is yeah, actually this is looking a little juicy here. You see a bullish divergent basic strategy setup. Money flow trending up. Actually, this is probably about to spike up relatively soon. Because if you extend this money flow out, it's pretty much almost toast, right? It's like it hits the 0 line. Oh, never mind. We have a little more time. If you extend, what I'm doing here is I'm connecting the lows in this money flow, and then I'm extending that out to the 0 line. So it looks like we have a couple more hours, and this is probably going to pump up to that 38.40 level. We'll have to watch how that plays out, guys. But so you can catch moves like this. You see a basic strategy long setup, right? You see price come over the intraday. And usually that intraday is like your last chance romance on that basic strategy setup before you get the move. But it would just be a scalp because we are stuck in this pretty tight range between 3,700 and 3,850. That's my take on ETH. You know, we do have to hold that 3,700 level, or else we could dump down to some deeper structure down here, which would, you know, that would be concerning. Some start of June, maybe that coincides with some stuff at the start of June with Bitcoin. I don't know. Maybe they both dump, but ETH dumps less. I'm not really sure. Maybe ETH just continues running and Bitcoin dumps, and it really is ETH. It's the second leg of the bull market, and it's ETH. It's time for ETH now. That would be interesting. Crypto Days says, you got me doing 100 push-ups a day. Love your stream time. Early morning for my UTC, and your bro is pure inspiration. Yeah, man, my bro, he's one of my biggest. Him and Mike Perry are my biggest inspirations. I aspire to be able to just slink out of bed like a salamander and like just enter a big fat multi-million-dollar position and like just fart and make, you know, 5 figures in a single day. You know, like I love my brother for that, man. And you know, as much of a hard ass as CryptoFace is, he's the most generous person I know. There's no one in my life who's as capable and as like powerful and kind and generous as him. Like, our sisters all drive like brand new cars, our family's taken care of, and like it's all thanks to what CryptoFace did. And he wasn't always you know, he's always been who he is, right? But I remember old CryptoFace, he worked his ass off, bro. He YouTubed every day, traded every day, and just grinded all the time, man. And he never gave up. And so I remember that. And he kind of forged the path that I'm walking on now, the path that I want to remind all you guys that you could walk down this path too if you so choose. But everyone has their own journey in trading. You know, some of us we got other things going on, and trading is just a supplement. For others of us, this is our life calling, our life passion. But either way, man, I'm grateful to be here with you guys. This is the path like God gave me, bro. I'm just doing it the best I can. But yeah, man, I'm hella glad you're doing those 100 push-ups a day. Every person that tells me that, which it's been dozens of people saying that I ignited their health kick, that's huge for me, man, because that was the biggest market lesson of all that I learned is how to not be a schmeagle, and how to not let this price action get the best of you in the long run, bro. So Pepe had a really, man, I have to talk about this Pepe correction. Sometimes you see something in the charts and you ignore it, right? And then you have to watch it play out, and you're like, fuck, bro, why didn't I like believe in myself, you know? I was just going over it on my call today, but Pepe, let me see if I could find the signs I saw on Pepe. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, man, on the 1 hour, so good, man. You see a very clear bearish anchor trigger setup, the money flow pouring out. Right here, look, the money flow extends. This dump's gonna end pretty soon, right? It's gonna end around over here. You got that little spike wave, right? It comes over the intraday, knocks out a bunch of shorters, and then continues down. God, I love it, man. It gives me like, it like makes my heart. Maybe it's just the coffee, bro, but like, I love watching basic strategy play out, especially on something like Pepe, where you know, you see that little trigger wave and you slip onto the intraday, and let's say you enter a little bit late, you enter on like this candle here. That's a 10% move, dude. This is life-changing shit, man. So I'm always gonna come out and defend Market Cipher. I'm always gonna come out and defend you guys, and like I'm just gonna be out here, bro, because like this is the shit that I love to see it, man. Like I even saw it on the chart, and I was like, do I enter a short? And I was just like, I don't know, man. Pepe's so bullish. I don't know, bro, but it did play out, bro. So I think where we're dumping to is previous week's anchor. This is a previous week's anchor here. Let's see. Yeah. Looks like it was 2 weeks ago, an anchor from 2 weeks ago. The anchor from 1 week ago is overhead, and so this seems to be Pepe's trading range. 138 to 157. Kind of ebbing and flowing around here. I'd expect this like short to kind of play out just like kind of one more leg down, maybe like just a little bit more kaputs in there, and then that money flow downtrend gets tired and it might break. You see the RSI is already starting to pull up. Digital asset degen says FG, those are heart palpitations. I got a healthy heart, bro, from all those burpees and shit, bro. You guys seen how red I get, dude? That's not suntan. That's like the juice is flowing, bro, from jumping up and down like a frog. I literally am Pepe the Frog now. It's crazy, bro. And I think, like, why the burpees, bro? Like, how did I get to this point in my life where I'm doing this every day? It's like because I'm wearing all orange and like it like turned me into like I'm doing prison workouts because I'm wearing all orange because I love Bitcoin, and now I'm turning into a Pepe the Frog. Like, this shit's weird, bro. Luciano Iturbe Sarunik, that's a crazy name, man. He says, FG, how do you put that anchored VWAP? I love when people ask that question, bro. Man, I used to be annoyed by it. Oh, watch the video, bro. I love teaching it, man. This is like what I have to give. But the anchored VWAP tool, it's a volume indicator. It's not an indicator that you enable as a script. It's a drawing tool. You go to the left here. Make sure you star the VWAP tool here. And this is going to allow you to place an anchor that's volume weighted on any candle you want. So what I like to do is I like to go to the daily, and I like to pick the best candles to put these on. Usually it's going to be the start of months, the starts of quarters, the starts of weeks. But sometimes you could do like a yearly low or a yearly high or some sort of technically based candle. But I like to base it off the daily chart. So you go to the daily and you click a candle on here. You go into the settings on your little VWAP there, and you click OHLC4, and you disable all these bands. Unless you're trying to find some upward targets. Like if Pepe's pumping, maybe I'll go to this, I'll go to like the Q2 band here. Like a band that started on like April 1st. And you can see, look, we pump up to that band, and then we start to correct a little bit. So that's like a good way to find a target for yourself, is if, you know, if you're trying to find a target, if the price action's running from your anchor, then maybe you could select that band multiplier 3, and you could kind of gauge like how high it could go before you take some profits. That's the only time I enable those bands. Yeah. Another thing you could do on these anchors is, like, let's say you want to place anchors for every week. You could go to like the weekly chart and just start placing little anchors on each candle like this. And that way when you go into the smaller time frames, you have those weekly anchors set up for you. You see that here? So you have an anchor here, and you have an anchor back here placed at the starts of weeks. So now you have like big weekly volume weighted sentiment. See, this gives you your trading range. You're trading between these two anchors. So it's like a substitute for horizontal support and resistance. It's a little more dynamic. I like it a little more. SA Razor says, will those with lifetime access also get secret weapon? Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, that's coming with the package for sure. Luciano says, I see you, thank you, love the push-ups. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, it's definitely like a hybrid channel. I don't expect, it's more for my own progress, and like just consistency is ugly, man. Hard work is ugly. But I actually just got a new camera. I just got a new, if I'm going to do this every day, if I'm going to do something every day, I'm going to do it right. So I just got a new cool little camera here. So I'm going to learn how to use it and hopefully the push-up content will get higher quality, so it's not as rough around the edges. But you know, consistency is consistency. Proof of work is proof of work. But you know, man, if you're not improving on anything you're doing every day, if you're not making small tweaks and small improvements to it every day, what are you doing, bro? You got to keep pushing the limits. Crypto Days says, if you could only buy some Whiff or Floki, which one would you choose? Ooh, man. Okay. All right, let's take a look, man. Let's compare both these pretty popular meme tokens. I actually have Floki, but I don't have Whiff. So it looks like Whiff is riding on top of that. We're riding on top of that Q2 anchor. Whiff seems to have a little bit more room up. You see, if we put a band on that Q2, if Whiff is going to make its way to that band, you've got a 16% play on Whiff if you're bullish on the Whiff. And if we go to Floki, looks like Floki has already hit that point. So maybe Whiff. Maybe Whiff is the play, because you just have a play up to that band. Whereas Floki it already happened. You know, and on Pepe, it's like Pepe was messing with that band for a while, and you see Pepe correct. So maybe Whiff. But I've got a little bit of like a couple different memes. Let's see. How's Whiff looking? I'm gonna have to wait for a bit of a setup on Whiff. Let me get some anchors going on this real quick. Obviously, don't enter shit unless there's an actual setup. You know, you need that anchor trigger. You need that money flow trending in your favor. Potential entry on the previous week's anchor at $3.57 for you. Coming soon. Potential. It looks a little blue wave divergent. It looks like it's correcting right now, so don't buy any Whiff yet, bro. Don't wait on this. Wait a little bit, bro. Wait for a candle bounce off some key support, such as a VWAP, a weekly, monthly, or quarterly VWAP. And then you look to market Cipher. You're gonna see, are the waves justifying my trade? Are they gonna help my win rate in this? That's what I would do before making any kind of move, especially in a meme coin with such big swings. Anthony T says, happy to catch the stream, chilling in the hotel, looking for that quick vacation scalp. Yeah, man. If you're looking for a quick scalp, I believe, was it ETH that we were looking at? Just peeking over the intraday. 65, was it the 65 or the 10-minute? There was some sort of 10-minute thing going on. We saw like an anchor trigger, right? Money flow trending up for the next couple hours. And a top of the range up at 3,842. With ETH now trending over a fresh intraday. So could be a little upward move on ETH for you. No guarantees there. But you do see anchor trigger, money flow trending up. RSIs were nice and low. Now they're coming up. Digital Asset says we have to repurchase MC when Secret Weapons comes out. It's correct. No, dude. Why would you think that, man? Secret Weapon comes with MC, as far as I know, man. Should come with MC. Taking a little peek at Solana right now. Super choppy, man. Super choppy 1 hour price action. Riding on that May anchor religiously, bro. Just humping that May anchor. Clinging to life on May here. I see anchor triggers on both sides, bro. It's a little bit mixed. Because you clearly see a bear div. with anchor trigger here. And then you also see money flow trending down, which extends out quite a ways. But then you also see anchor trigger bullishly. What about this money flow? Yeah, you're seeing this, like, the downtrend from this big 1 hour money flow red blob on Solana is just playing out. You know, this is the buying pressure. This is the money coming in, right? The money becoming less negative. And so you're getting anchor triggers justifying that upslope in the money flow. But it's also being countered by some selling action as well. So this is really mixed signals, bro, on Solana. That's tough to make a call on that shit. You are over the May anchor. Personally, I don't think there's a play there. I like when it's a little more clear. Someone asked about the spider lines, dude. I love CF's new spider line video. If you guys haven't watched it yet, make sure you guys, I love spider lines, dude. It's key levels. It's technically based. I love this shit, man. Spider lines 2.0. And so the way he does these spider lines, you're going to go to Bitcoin, you're going to go to the weekly chart. You're going to go to Heiken Ashi candles, because he likes to use those. And you go to the line, and you select Array tool, and you go to magnet mode. And your fulcrum point is going to be the Monday, April 10, this week here. The high right here. And your first, I believe he starts with like the highs back here. So you're going to go to the wicks, right? The wicks, the candle highs, and you're going to connect that to the high on that fulcrum point. And you're just going to keep doing that. Except you're going to make these lines skinnier, and so they're not all thick and intrusive. And you're just going to keep doing that pretty much like all throughout here. And this seems simple. It seems like something like a child would do. It seems a little silly. But if a guy who enters multi-million-dollar trades says to do this shit and it's working for him, you might want to learn something. I'm just saying. So yeah, these are the spider lines here. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that we're in a gap of these spider lines. You guys see that? So, I mean, there's a lot going on here now, especially with my anchored VWAPs. It's a little cluttered. But look at the gap that we're in. We're in a rising channel of nothingness. The daily looks like shit, too. The spider line situation almost lends credence to a big dump ski. You know, because there's not much spider line support holding us up at these levels. There's some rising support down at like the low 60Ks, which coincides with our year-to-date anchor. And so yes, the May anchor could hold us up at the start of June. If we correct down, the May anchor could certainly hold us up, at least for a medium term, you know, standpoint. But what I'm noticing here is a big gap in spider line. You know, it may be a while before we get a good trade off of a spider line. But that's telling. It just tells us there's a lack of rising structural support at these levels. So thankfully we have the anchored VWAP tool in this community to give us something to work off of in this dead zone here. But this kind of lends credence to a sad, dreary early June, a rainy summer month. Nonsense says, doesn't he use the body of the candles? Does he use the bodies, man? Did he use the bodies in the video? I may have missed that, man. Maybe he did use the bodies. But if he used the wicks, We're in a little bit of a dead zone here. Let's try with the bodies. This just goes to show that a lot of this is a little bit subjective, but if you go into trading with a plan and you stick with a plan, Jason Casper had an amazing tweet, by the way. Let me find that tweet. Jason. Man, the search on Twitter sucks. Why isn't like Jason Casper the first thing that pops up when I push J? But man, he's one of the goats of trading. I look up to Jason. He said today, make sure you have a strategy. Any is good. Just have one. So, you know, Spider Lions, it's a good strategy of support. Good risk management and have discipline. That means showing up every day. That means being consistent, you know, taking your profits and mentally being prepared for tomorrow. But yeah, let's try with the bodies, bro. Let's try some body candlestick action. Spiderline's obviously not a volume weighted thing. This is just technically based off of candle action. Thankfully, the money flow is a really good volume weighted indicator that will get the job done in terms of, you know, taking the number of shares being traded into account in your strategy. The money flow trends are probably the best way to do that. But the anchored VWAPs are amazing as well. And yeah, I have very strongly biased in favor of volume weighted indicators, man. Because typically when you know, if you follow those types of indicators, you can rely on traders swooping in to react to certain levels. So when we place the spider lines at the bodies, let's see what we get here. Wow. Absolutely amazing what we're seeing here. So what we're seeing on Bitcoin is we still have a bit of a gap underneath us. We still have a dead zone beneath. But we have some immediate support. We have a spider line that has held us up 1, 2, 3, 4 times. But those gates are getting knocked down like Jericho. You know, we want to see if is this a divergent rogue pump that hits this bigger spider line, and see 2 spider lines that we just pinged off of up here, and then we get rejected and cracked down. Are we going to get sent into the doldrums at the start of the summer, at the start of June? Not sure, man. But right now we are at some support. This is the line we've been holding on since the middle of May. It's pretty much coinciding with the weekly anchor back here. So really interesting. I mean, look at this, look at that too. I love that top up there, how it just hits those spider lines and just cracks down. Satoshi Nakamoto says, have I taken any trades? Market's a little choppy. I had a shoddy Bitcoin trade the other day. I made 7% on it, but the entry was bad. I didn't share it to the VIP. But tonight I'll be looking for some trades, man. I did see a really nice Pepe short, and I didn't take it, bro. I hate myself for that, bro. MAK says, 1, I love the teaching you're doing. 2, can you give insight on how MC would be used with option stocks, some stocks? It's the same, bro. You're looking for anchor trigger setups. You're looking for trends in money flow. If you have any charts you want me to look up in particular, AK, let me know and I'll take a peek at them. Anthony T says, eyeball and Doge, gonna wait for my entry level, looking similar to that ETH play with a little more juice. Interesting, dude. Let's take a look at Doge. I'm digging these vibes too. Look at this, forever in 2006. We're stuck on some sort of like PlayStation 2 loading screen. with like Silent Hill samples and shit. This is cool. Okay, so we're looking at Doge. Okay, okay. Yeah, I see the RSIs were nice and oversold. Let's see. Let me do some work here. We gotta do some surgery. I gotta go back on standard candles too, man. That's my thing, is the standard candles. I do like on the 4 hour Doge's like uptrend and money flow with the RSIs picked up. Now this 4 hour is a little bit stale. We're already reaching that apex, but there could be another little pop in there. Let's check the 2 hour. You see the waves beginning to trend up on the 2 hour here. Not much red money flow back uptrend backing us up. Not much money flow backing us up on the 2 hour. Nor the 1 hour. Now on the 30 minute, this looks a little better. You've got a nice little uptrend in money flow there. With anchor triggers, you got anchor, trigger, and money flow trending up. Going into the next 2 days on the 30 minute. And you do have, yeah, you do have that the intraday price action climbing over that fresh intraday VWAP. Could be a good day for Doge. Cypher says these spider lines are amazing. Not sure exactly why, but they hold up. Just goes to show like how simple price action can be, man. The points, you know, where the numbers converge, that's when shit happens. Looks like a big mess with my anchored VWAPs. I already dabble with a lot of different supports and resistances already, but I really love this bounce that we're having on this spider line here. I like the shorts. I mean, look at this, man. 1, 2, 3, and then look at this rising one. Old support turning into resistance, now support again. So cool, bro. I mean, that's part of the reason why I love charting so much, man. Is like it sparks your childlike creativity, bro. Sometimes you just draw like a dick and balls on the chart and it plays out, man. Like you just have like some testicles and you know you just draw a dick. It's just, that's what it's gonna do, guys. Like I know what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. You guys can call it a broadening wedge, but it's a big wiener. Join my VIP. Oh man. Okay, I'll look at BTC dominance creeping back from the dead. This is hilarious, bro. Money flow trending up. It's a short-term uptrend though. So yeah, nothing extended too far out into the future. But dominance is having a gasp for sure. Looks like it's moving quite sharply. That's on the 1 hour. What's going on the... Oh man, daily. So the daily dominance giving us a little a bullish little wave here. This is hidden bull div, actually. Look at this shit. So not price, but the dominance has come down and the waves have come up. This is a standard bull div. if that little thing can hold on the daily, if that little nodule can hold on the daily. S&P looking a lot like Bitcoin. If you look at the S&P 500, looking like it just needs to come down to like its May anchor. You see that daily slumping over, VWAP still cooling off. Weekly looking a little toppy, seeing all the signs of potential correction down to that 5,200 level. Then we'll have to see what happens from there. Daniel says, thank you for the VWAP strategy. TradingView has a stock VWAP auto-anchored indicator. Added that to the chart 4 times as a weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. And the VWAPs are automatically added on every chart. I'm curious, Daniel, does it delete the previous period's anchor? Or does it start a new one similar to the intraday VWAP does? Because I highly value like the previous period. Like for instance, if once we go into June, I'm gonna really be looking at the May anchor as like a point of major support. You know, and if once we go into Q3 in July, I'll be looking at the Q2 anchor for like a major level of support or resistance. That's the only issue I have with those auto VWAP things. Like the intraday does that as well. Sometimes, you know, this intraday is nice, but sometimes I want to see the anchor from yesterday continue to play out, right? Like I want to place an anchor here at 0 o'clock or whatever. Or hold on, let me go to a chart. Let me go to Bitcoin and it trades 24/7 so I can demonstrate this. So, you know, you put an anchor 2 days back, right? And you see that it's still playing out. It's still important. It's a 2-day anchor. Just like how a 2-day chart is cool to look at in lieu of the 1-day chart, a 2-day anchored VWAP is cool. You know, the previous day's anchor could also be a justification to enter a trade. So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword that the intraday just simply resets and snaps and generates a whole new VWAP. Because as we've learned by the anchors, previous periods VWAPs tend to come into play very often. MMP has a chart recommendation. I've had my ass handed to me on SHDW. Sounds like Shadow. Okay, I don't know much about this, man, but it's obviously a crypto. Shadow Drive, is that what we're talking about, bro? You spot trading on Flemex, man? Shadow, USD, Coinbase. Let's check this Coinbase chart. Got his ass handed to him. Well, we are in a major downtrend here, so... Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my lord. Man, you're doing some institutional dirty work, bro. If you're trading in these ranges down here trying to buy this up or whatever, I do understand that like you want to buy red, right? You want to buy low, sell high. But also, you know, if you slap an anchor on May or at the start of this thing's life, you know, these anchors are sloped down and the price action is below them. And so shorts are going to be favored in this sort of environment. It's a very bearish environment. Yeah, and it's not anything to laugh about, you know, it's not anything, no one's making fun of you or nothing. It's not like that. It's a really great example of, you know, it's a delicate balance between buying the right kind of dips, you know, buying during strength, buying during established uptrends, and then what can happen if you get caught in that knife catching kind of mentality. Because obviously, like, a better long setup would be like, let's say the VWAPs are doing this, you know, they're upsloped. Instead of being downsloped, they're like this. And the price action's above them. You know, if you're looking for a long, you would want this to pull back, find some support on an upsloped anchor, and you catch that long up, right? But we have the opposite. We have a bearish setup. We have a very bearish environment where you would almost want to go into these small time frames and see what kind of shorts are happening, you know? Like when you slip under the intraday, that shit really goes down, you know? I mean, there's so many instances that I could point to of like the money flow should have bailed you out and it didn't. Like, you know, you see like every basic strategy long you see, by the time that we play out to that apex, it's already out of juice and it's dumping again. Because what's happening is that there's another side to the waves. There's a bearish side of the story that we're not paying attention to. See, that's a bearish setup right there with money flow aiming down. And we're just in this overall bearish environment. So it could theoretically change. It's just, you know, is Shadow something like ETH where some great news comes out and we just shoot past all these anchors in a giant spear and now all of a sudden we're bullish like what ETH did? Maybe, but I don't know anything about Shadow. And so when you have a chart like this, like I try to say don't touch this shit at all with the 10-foot pole. The only spears you can rely on are the pickled cucumbers coming out of Richard Hart's asshole when they flip him over in his hotel room. So don't be going praying for a spear unless there's some ETFs being approved for Shadow like next week. You know what I'm saying? This is some stinky ew, brother. This is ew, brother. Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Man, I've been there. I've been there. I'll do... How about this? I will do 3 chart recommendations tonight, and then we'll call it a night. But, give me some, give me 3 good chart recommendations, and we'll look at some charts, and then, yeah, we'll call it a night till tomorrow. I told you guys my concerns for June. You know, we got consensus. Crypto events are typically a sell event. Got the May anchor that hasn't been contended with. Not influencers, but like crackpot celebrities putting out meme coins. Mount Gox and Grayscale dumping on us. And the charts just don't look that hot, man. For Bitcoin, that is. Okay, let's look up. We're going to look up Turbo. Because we know Turbo is a winner, bro. We know Turbo is... We like to look at performance, man. And Turbo is a winner. And we got Turbo Daddy in the chat. Shout out to Turbo Daddy. And we're going to look at Gala. That's a good recommendation. Let's start there and we'll see if anyone else does any recommendations here. Man, Turbo is finally starting to be humbled. Finally, bro. It's about time Turbo started correcting. The money flow left. Damn, look at that money just pouring out, bro. It's like a high school party that just got busted by the cops. And now all the kids are jumping over the fence and shit. Dude, look at the money leaving, bro. On the 65-minute. Still looking thick on the 4-hour. But your daily is mad topped out, man. RSI's lost a lot of steam. Time to add. Actually, nah. I would wait for a price to come down to where this red candle on the daily hitch happened, bro. And you'll get that rising Q2 April anchor as some solid support. You know, I think it's probably going to do something like that. Not going to lie. But we'll slap some anchors on the last 2 weeks here. Go in there and take a peek. Yeah, so you can see we lost. We lost this week's anchor. Likely going to slip down to the previous week's anchor at 52873. And we'll have to see what happens there, Turbo Daddy. You could potentially long from this level at 52874-ish if you see some candle strength there. I would wait for candle strength and see, did the market cipher B wave on the 65-minute start to turn up? You're seeing a very large money flow div extending out just a couple more days. Man, this music has me feeling like the right kind of vibes, dude. I feel relaxed. Yeah, it's good to see a little healthy correction in Turbo, Mr. Turbo Daddy. It's a good chance to load up if you can find some good support somewhere. But also I would say, you know, like the losing of a weekly anchor, this was a good point if you were like longing this and holding onto it. Good point to take some profits when you start losing momentum like that. When you start losing, you know, this upper band, this profit-taking band, the green, the money band, bro. That's what it looks like. I believe that's like the Q2 anchor with a level 3 band on it. But once you start breaking away from that, and then you lose the intraday, and then you lose a weekly, it's like, all right, I'll take some profits on Turbo. Wait for another entry. Ooh, Haven Customs has a good recommendation. We'll look at AVAX. But let me look at Gala for GoldenEye real quick. So, let's look at Gala. Right now off Gala, I see it bounce off key support, trending on intraday. I'm on the 10-minute. Money flow trending up. Nice little immediate long play on Gala. I like the support we've built. I like some decent looking basic strategy. RSIs were nice and low, picking up and get that traction on the intraday. We zoom out a bit. Let's take a look at the weekly anchors on Gala. Looks like it's going to be a pretty tight range here. This is your trading range, so it's going to come up to here. It's going to come up to like 4.4 cents, bro, and it's going to have to make a decision. You might be in a little bit tight of a range here, not going to lie. So it depends on what your leverage is, but if you're in good profits by this level here, you might want to cover your fees and reduce, because you do have some major previous weeks resistance here. But it could continue up for sure. I like that setup, man. Getting some good intraday strength, bouncing off a key level. The only issue I foresee is that like you go to the weekly, you place those weekly anchors, and you're in a sideways range, right? So, you know, we could pray for some volatility, but volatility isn't guaranteed for you. Gala is not seeing the strong big candles that we want. The last 2 weeks of candles are so, like the VWAPs from the past 2 weeks are so close to each other that it's just in scalp mode. So I would say take your profits on this and clean your knives and get ready for the next play tomorrow. And then Haven Customs wants me to look at AVAX, and we'll call it a night. AVAX having a similar pump on its intraday with some basic strategy. 30-minute. What about the 10-minute? Waves coming up. These are all looking very similar to ETH's, what's happening on Ethereum. So you guys see Ethereum has anchor trigger trending on intraday. So it makes sense that AVAX and like these other altcoins are doing something similar. Let's get a trading range going. Just slap something on these previous 2 weeks. I believe that AVAX may be trying to regain up in this trading range here. So you slap the 2 previous weeks in, and that gives you this kind of range that we could come up into and start trading in. The only concern is that you are running into that current week's anchor. The current week's anchor is resistance, so you have to be very weary of a short setup. You know, a wave. The waves are going to be kind of pushing you down once we hit this key level in the short term. So you may get a correction down to the intraday, and you'd have to pray for a bounce off the intraday back up into this larger trading range. So just be mindful that the current week's anchor working against you for the time being, but if this flips into support, then you do have some larger, like a larger 3.4% swing there. Nothing too crazy, man. Nothing too exciting there, not gonna lie. Yeah, this has already kind of played out a bit. I like that the RSI is like just snapped up on the 65. It does seem to me like, you know, you look at the 2 hour on AVAX, and yes, we have some immediate resistance overhead, but there are some planning time frame bullish ideas here, you know. These medium-term waves look pretty good on AVAX. Okay, and then as one last final bonus chart, we'll look at Nat Gas for James Roy. Nat Gas going into some profit taking for sure. Nat Gas was riding on, what is this anchor here? Oh yeah, that was our Q2 anchor, bro. So Q2, not gonna lie, the volatility band did a pretty pissed job of calling the profit level, the top level for the pumps. We kept going up. We kept riding that band. But the one thing the band does do in your favor, James, which like we'll take into the future, is once we start to break away from it and go sideways, the odds of a correction really increase dramatically. So, yeah, so we're seeing that happen. We're seeing that the bear's taken over just for a short while, and you see why. You know, you saw the money flow pouring out. That downtrend in money flow already looking a little bit tired, though. I don't know, man. Let me get some weekly anchors going here. Let me see if we're at some major support. I do see on the weekly this looks a bit concerning. You see the yellow oscillator has crossed down. Blue wave looking like it might be a little weak. Daily looking bearish. 2-day looking bearish. But, oh, let's see if, let's go on the weekly here. Place some anchors on the last couple weeks. You know, this is a little bit concerning, James Roy, because we've actually, you see how we've fallen under the last 3 weeks of VWAPs? That's quite concerning. Not many other things I could pull out of my tool belt for supports in this range here that we're in. Let me put one on May 1st. Okay. So the May anchor here seems like the most likely settle down point. You could perhaps dump down to 2.36 cents. Find some support at or above that May anchor. Maybe this downtrend in money flow, maybe we do pop up a little bit, but you have a larger downtrend in play. due to this reduction in 4-hour money flow. 12-hour doesn't seem quite rounded out yet, right? So I think what's likely is a correction down to the May anchor, bro. And you'd have to see what's the candle strength looking like. It likely flips bullish for a time in the medium term at that level, at a powerful anchor like the May anchor. Because right now our weekly structure, the weekly anchors, we've fallen out of that trading range. A little bit concerning on nat gas. And that's about it for nat gas, bro. Anthony T says, this hotel Wi-Fi kind of butt cheeks. Appreciate the knowledge, man. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Happy to help you guys. Parth Rastogi. Ooh, you know, I will look at Pepe. I will look at Pepe because I've been eyeing it, man. We got anchors, bro. Pepe's in a pretty tight range here. We're ebbing and flowing between 13889 for support and 16025 for resistance. We're right in the middle of that anchored VWAP range, so it's not a good time to enter any trades on Pepe currently, in my opinion. You know, you're right in the middle of a trading range here between two key levels. I want to see a sufficient bounce off of the previous week, get some good candle strength there, or a resistance tap, confirmation of resistance on the current week's anchor for a short. It is very likely that Pepe could have to very volatile-ishly dump down to perhaps the May anchor down here. So still a little early to see anything on Pepe, but a big short did play out. You see like the anchor trigger basic strategy with the money pouring out, extending a couple more, one or two more days here. And yeah, that's about it on Pepe, bro. Something brewing perhaps, but something already cooked on Pepe. You're a little bit late to the party on a short until we confirm the current week's VWAP as resistance again. Yeah, not too much comment on Brett. Brett's looking a little divergent. Not gonna lie, actually, this looks quite divergent. I'd be very careful getting into this right now. You guys gotta trust that money flow, man. Only get into shit. Don't be buying tops. You gotta wait for uptrends in red money flow to get into shit. Don't be someone else's exit liquidity. Diego Vo says, may I ask why you don't use MCSR for the lower time frames? I actually do, bro. I've simplified the way I use SR. I just like to use the intraday VWAP. Like, I have my SR settings here, just everything else is disabled, and I've clicked save as default, so that's, yeah. But if I did have the Cipher resistance and support dots on, I would, go to inputs, and I would change the resolution to a planning time frame, such as maybe the 4-hour. And this would give me, you know, actually this isn't really workable on Brett. But on most charts, like, maybe I would use like the 2-hour, maybe more aggressive settings for Brett, because it's going so crazy. Maybe the 1-hour? Yeah. It's going to depend on the asset, bro, but the dots, I would say, you know, you're on those scalping time frames. Make sure you change the resolution of your Cipher support and resistance to a planning time frame. So you're going to be charting on like the minute frames, but you want the resolution to be any of the hour time frames, from like the 1-hour to like the 8-hour, depending on what asset you're using, and just stick with it. But as for these other levels, the center of range, the pivot high, the pivot low, I'm already very aware of what the low for the day was, what the high for the day was, so I don't need those guardrails on my chart anymore. I've got enough lines on my chart, and I stream, so I want things to look clean for you guys, so I just use my VWAPs, man. But I love the intraday VWAP. It's probably my favorite all-time indicator. And that's about it for the stream, guys. So, man, this was actually a much better stream than I was anticipating. This was a lot of fun, man. I love the chill vibes. Good community, good people. Thanks for tuning in with me. Thanks for looking over the charts. You know, for having such concerning signs, I like everybody's level head. And man, just keep grinding, and we will be back tomorrow. The week is still young. We got 2 more days of streaming left, so tune in with me tomorrow, and let's get it, man.